I want to make it absolutely clear. These allegations are without merit.
Meet Delma K. Noel-Pratt. She's a very unique woman. Not only is she a Black American, but she's a police officer. And not only a police officer, she's a police chief in one of the biggest cities in America. Despite being a police officer for over 30 years, she has been a police chief at the Miami Gardens Police Department since 2017. She was sworn in as the first female police chief of Miami Gardens and has been going strong for almost a decade. But somebody wants to see her run come to an end. Recently, Chief Noel-Pratt has went viral around the country because 5 Latino officers want to see her resign. They want her out, and they're suing the Miami Gardens Police Department for a really interesting reason.
The top cop in Miami Gardens firing back against claims of discrimination made by 5 of her own officers who are also calling for her ouster.
While I acknowledge the officers' right to voice their concerns, the demand for my resignation is misguided and misplaced.
Flanked by members of her department and other South Florida law enforcement leaders, Chief Delma Noel-Pratt today strongly refuted allegations that she unfairly demoted or reassigned 5 Hispanic officers who say they were targeted in part because of their race.
My job is to hold every employee accountable to the standards of this profession, regardless of whether they are Black, Hispanic, white, Asian, or of any other background.
Her comments coming one day after the officers involved in the claims announced plans to file a civil rights lawsuit.
There just seems to be a lot of, if you just want to describe it as inconsistent discipline and certain aspects of maybe favoritism.
After sharing those concerns, they say command staff retaliated by reassigning them to lesser positions and in some cases suspending them.
We've been subject of transfers, demotions, some of us relieved of duty, myself, without no cause.
Now, these 5 men have some strong allegations. Number one, they believe that they have been racially discriminated against by Chief Noel-Pratt. And they're saying this because, well, once they've complained about certain things, they've been demoted and they've also been reassigned. In response to that, Noel-Pratt says, listen, I have reassigned people no matter what race they are based on the needs of the business. It doesn't matter who you are or what you are. I do so because of performance or lack of performance. So while you're saying that this is racially motivated, what I'm saying is based on what the needs of the business are, I will move you around. And if your performance is poor, I will demote you. And that's what we're dealing with. But these Latino officers don't think so. But wait, there's more.
Meantime, Local 10 also heard from a retired police detective here in Miami Gardens who says they decided to leave the force due to issues similar to the ones raised by those 5 officers. They claim several other employees here have also left over recent years due to similar concerns. The police chief today, though, did acknowledge that officers do leave the department from time to time for various reasons, adding, though, that her department is no different than any other.
So a retired officer who didn't reveal his name said, hey, I quit the police force for the same reasons that these guys did. Now, we don't know what race the person is saying that, but for whatever reason, they're complaining about her leadership. And it could be true that people don't like the way that she does things or like her role as a leader. And many of us have quit jobs for the same reasons. And even Noel-Pratt agrees. Hey, people do quit the force, but people quit forces, police forces everywhere. For whatever reasons, career changes, people move, whatever the case. People get fired at any jobs just like anybody else. Now, if these allegations are true that this police chief is racist, then of course it is wrong and it does prove that it's Latino discrimination. But then there's the other side of the story. What if these Latinos want her out? Basically because she's a woman, she's a Black woman, and she's giving them orders. Now, we're going to be honest. Latino men have a history of leading. Those are the kind of men they are. They're raised to be like that. And maybe taking orders from women is something that they just don't like. And so for the fact that she's moving them around and basically demoting them, for them, it might be like, whoa, wait a minute. Who are you? Okay. And it could be that, hey, this is a black woman, and black and Latino cultures could or could not be somebody to respect. So wait a minute. Let's conjure up a plan to get her out of here or make her resign. Because at that point, if we make her resign, what can we do? We can bring in the Latino person that we want, that serves our community, and get rid of the blacks.
Damn.
Now, I'm not saying this is the exact situation because I don't know, but this was something that happened at Houston Community College. Black Americans or African Americans that work there sued the community college for this reason.
Houston Community College slapped with a $100 million racial discrimination lawsuit filed on none other than the Juneteenth holiday. At the center of the case is Zelia Brown, a former employee who says she and others have been racially targeted by HCC leadership. The suit also reveals an email chain from Chancellor Cesar Maldonado, which states now we Hispanics are going to receive preferential treatment.
This is a pattern. That's something that is methodically and deliberately done to ostracize that individual.
The suit names Maldonado, HR Director Janet May, and Board of Trustees member Adriana Thomas, claiming they worked intentionally on a, quote, well-developed, systematic, entrenched, and wildly successful campaign of race and sex discrimination against top-level black employees, stating that 90% of the longtime black professionals at HCC have either been terminated or demoted.
So what happened was, once Latinos got into the Houston Community College system, they had a plan to get rid of the blacks. The blacks reduced in numbers by about 90%, but Latino hires increased by 50%. Now, again, in Miami, you do have a lot of Dominicans, a lot of Puerto Ricans, and people like that. So if you have these 5 guys who want her to step down, you can't convince me that they want to replace her with another black person, another black woman, or another black man. It seems to me that these guys would appreciate if they had a boss of their culture that they could get along with or even handpick. And most likely they already have that person in mind. And we have seen this happen with certain Latinos. Now, again, we don't really see it with Black Americans. Black American bosses, from what I can understand, if they have Latino employees, I don't hear much discrimination. I don't hear people saying, hey, well, the blacks are coming against the Mexicans or Hispanics and trying to get rid of them. I never really hear that. It's one of the first times I've ever heard it. But we do hear about it when it comes to the Latino community, at least a little bit more often. But hold on, wait a minute. Stop the show. A black lady in Miami mentioned this about Latinos.
First of all, you came in that country, you're looking to live, to have a fair life with family. You can't be discriminate who you want to give job if it's not one of your people, one of your like Latino people. No. Yes, in Miami it's like that. A lot of job in Miami, if you go for the South Miami, you don't speak Spanish, you're not one of them, they're not gonna give it to you. Yes, they got it like that. They don't do it because they're racist, they do it because they want to keep their own community together. Now, if you dark skin, you from Panama or somewhere, you speak Spanish, you will fit. But if you don't speak Spanish, you don't fit.
So this lady doesn't want to say that Latinos are racist, but she will say that, hey, if you're working for Latinos, you have to speak Spanish. And if you don't speak Spanish, you won't get hired. Now, she says later in the video that these people come to America and they can't speak the language, but almost everybody who comes to America understands they're foreigners, so they have to speak English and learn the culture. But she accuses Latinos of not trying to do this. And then if you are black or if you're somebody else and you don't speak Spanish, then what happens is they have no problem with discriminating against you, and they will bring people in of their own cultures and communities to handle business. And this behavior is not uncommon. But the reality is, who will stand with this police officer in her time of need? There are very few Black American police chiefs around Florida area. Delma Noel-Pratt is a pretty strong lady. she's refusing to step down for these officers, and she's saying, hey, listen, she's willing to fight to the end. But the reality is, I wonder who's going to have her back and stand up for her. Because whether she's right or wrong, for certain people, it doesn't matter. Because it's all about what race she is versus somebody else. And this is typically other groups' position towards us. When people of another community are wrong and they are in positions of leadership, what you notice is their community stands by them no matter what. The black community is the only community that says, well, let's be fair to somebody else. When other communities are not fair to us, I think that Delma K. Noel-Pratt is innocent until proven guilty. That's my position on the subject. Unless they have proof that she has done these things, which I don't believe they have those things there. And if she's saying that she won't step down, it must mean to me that, hey, she's doing her job. That's what I think. Now, it could be that I'm wrong, but I believe that they want her to step down. And if she does step down or is fired, we know what's going to happen next. There will not be another black American police chief. That person will be Latino. And it's nothing wrong with having a Latino or a black police chief. But what is wrong is conspiring against somebody just so that you can get your person in there so that you can feel more comfortable at your job, especially if you are underperforming like your boss is saying. This is not uncommon in the workplace for people to be mad at the boss or mad at somebody else for holding them accountable. This could easily be the case of some Latino men seeing a black American woman like giving you orders, and they feel like, who is she to give us orders, especially a black woman to give us orders? Oh, hell no. We're not going to be taking orders from her. Who the hell does she think she is? And yes, that could be the case. But until we have proof, I believe that Delma K. Noel-Pratt, who is one of the few black American female police chiefs in the country, should be getting the support from the black community in Miami-Dade Gardens, okay? She should. She's been there for 32 years. She's been in that community for 32 years. And from what I can understand, in order for her to be the police chief, I know how black folks feel about the police, but she must have some level of an impeccable record of competence to even uphold that position. And the other guys who have been demoted or who have had whatever issues they have may or may not have the same level of impeccable record. And they need to go ahead and prove what they're saying about the sister before she is forced to give up her job or step down or be demoted herself, simply because these guys may want her position because they would like to swap her out for somebody else to their liking or to their community or to their culture. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.